Hello, I'm Harry Riley. Welcome to Harry's Tales. This one's called Makuta, the Chosen One, a short story by Harry Riley. This story is fiction, and resemblance to anyone, living or dead, is coincidental. The year 2050 started with the biggest threat to mankind the world had ever known. After the collapse of the world economy in 2008, a little-known African dictator called Harvey Osborne Franklin Makuta disappeared for a whole month up a mountain. This in itself was not remarkable, as many people choose to vanish. But what he did when he reappeared was to have far-reaching consequences for the whole world. He reduced his name to one word, Makuta, the Chosen One, and started hoarding gold. He taxed his people to starvation and appointed a fellow warlord, Hercules Umbraco, as commander-in-chief of all his forces. Makuta's reappearance as he rejoined his people was certainly a gruesome spectacle. He was stripped to the waist and was wearing a newly slaughtered goat's head for a headdress, the fresh blood dripping over his shoulders and down his back, the long bone-handled parang machete or kukuri knife gripped in his teeth. His eyes had the wild look of the maniacally insane and could have been laughable, but nobody smiled. The populace was too cowed to do anything of the sort, and knew that eye contact would have meant instant death. In barely recognisable language, he insisted he had met up with the devil, and he was to become the saviour of the world. In effect, the devil's disciple. He proclaimed himself earthly son of the devil, and said he had been granted powers to lead the whole world for the next 1,000 years. He had been given exemption from death. Nothing could kill him. He said his father, the Devil Lord, had given many races ascendancy over the centuries, but each one had messed up. Now it was to be their turn, to be all-powerful rulers. He was instructed by his father to hold the world to ransom, and to this end he recruited a top disaffected scientist with a promise of untold wealth. Together they conjured up a plan to make a titronium megabomb, with gold as the lever. Makuta went about his deadly business while the world slept on in ignorance, and then 2 years later, with everything in place, it was time to make his doomsday pronouncement. No one knew the location of this weapon that held the power of 10,000 hydrogen bombs and could wipe out all life on Earth at a stroke. Within a day of his announcement, he had the world powers on their knees. The threat of complete and utter annihilation was too awful to contemplate. West and East capitulated immediately, and triumphantly Makuta went back up his mountain to receive further orders from his father, the devil. This time he was only absent for a week, and when he came down he declared they had to make sacrifices to the devil. All firstborn males in the land were to be butchered immediately, and the slaughter began as the world held its breath. Many fathers defied the proclamation and were shot. Hercules Umbraco was the only man who dared to speak to Makuta, and he lined up 50 reluctant fathers in front of his leader. He addressed the son of Lucifer in deferential terms. Would you like a blindfold, O mighty one? Your eyes should not witness the death of the unworthy. Flattered by his concern, Makuta agreed. A single shot rang out, and he fell to the ground in a heap. The ambitious warlord, Hercules Umbraco, had done a deal with the world's great powers and had led a coup. The deadly weapon was neutralised and the world was saved. Makuta's 1,000-year reign was over almost before it had begun. End.